And gentlemen, and welcome back to Key Time Sports. It is Key Time coming back to talk about week 6 of the college football season. Yes, we are already in week 6 in college football. It just seems like a few weeks ago we were just in week 1. But the first game I want to talk about is the number 9 Missouri Tigers versus the number 25 Texas A&M Aggies. Now, when we look at the Missouri Tigers from a team standpoint, Brady Cook, he has over 900 yards passing. The running back Nate Noel, he has over 400 yards rushing. Receiver Theo Waits Jr., 287 yards. Tackles, solo tackles. The leading tackler is Marvin Burks Jr. and interceptions. The leading interceptor on the team is Travis Johnson. And then you see their quarterback play, Brady Cook, Drew Payne, all of their rushers, all of their wide receivers, their kicker, and the defensive players, and also the solo tackles. They have over 200 solo tackles this season. And we also have the Texas A&M, excuse me. I'm going to give you their statistics, Missouri statistics. So, Missouri averages over 36 points per game. Third down efficiency is 54%, one of the best in college football. Fourth down efficiency is 50%, and still is one of the best in college football. And plus, the offense is very efficient. Plus, the defense has only given up 3 touchdowns all season, and the defense gives up an average of 22 points per game. So when we look at the Texas A&M Aggies offense, we see the quarterback Marcel Reed, the running back Le'Veon Moss, the wide receivers Cyrus Allen, leading tackler Trayan York, and the leading interceptor Marcus Radcliffe. And then you see their quarterback play Marcel Reed, Connor Wegman, the rushing. Then you see their wide receiving. Then you see their kicker. Then you see their defensive players. And they have over 200 solo tackles this season. So now when we get to both offenses, Missouri scores 36 points per game. Texas A&M scores 29 points per game. Offensive efficiency is one of the worst in college football at 38%. Now, fourth down efficiency, it is one of the best in college football at 62%. Then as far as their defense is giving up about as many points as they put up. The offense puts up 29 points. The defense allows 23 points. So this is going to be a game where it's going to be anybody's game throughout. It really is. It's going to be anybody's game. But when it comes down to who's going to win this game, I got the Missouri Tigers because they have the better offense, the better defense, and plus these players that have been with the Missouri Tigers, they've been with them for multiple years. So I got the Missouri Tigers winning this game by a touchdown because it is going to be a close game throughout. So I got the Missouri Tigers winning this game by a touchdown. The next game I want to talk about is the Michigan Wolverines versus the Washington Huskies. Now, this is a rematch of last year's national championship game. Since then, they've had a lot of turnover for the For the Michigan Wolverines, J.J. McCarthy has went to the NFL. For the Washington Huskies, Michael Penix Jr. is in the NFL. So when we look at the Michigan Wolverines quarterback play, Davis Warren, Alex Orji, and then you see their running backs for Michigan, the wide receivers for Michigan, the kicker for Michigan, and the defensive players for Michigan. And also, the Michigan defensive players have over 200 solo tackles, to be exact, 276. We see their offense. Their offense has been up and down this season. If you are a Michigan fan, you know that your offense has been up and down. Only averaging 24.8 points per game. Third down efficiency is 40%. That's decent. And then fourth down efficiency is 85%, which is one of the best in college football. So that's what you got on the Michigan Wolverines side of things. Now, the Washington Huskies, Will Rogers is the quarterback. For quarterback play, you have Damon Williams Jr., and you have for running backs for the Washington Huskies, you have the receivers for the Washington Huskies, the kicker for the Huskies, the defense, and their solo tackles. They have 284 solo tackles. So now we look at the offensive statistics for the Washington Huskies. Now, the Washington Huskies, they score 27.2 points per game. Third down efficiency is one of the worst in college football at 37%. Fourth down efficiency is one of the worst in college football at 37%. Also, when it comes to their offense, as far as putting drives together, generating yards, they have trouble doing that. Now, Washington isn't the same Washington team that we saw in the national championship game. So as far as this game, who do I see winning this game? I see this game being a defensive struggle, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game stays in the high 20s or the low 20s, stays in the high 20s or the low 20s. But I am going to say, because I don't know what I am going to get from whoever the Michigan Wolverines start. I don't know what I'm going to get, so I am going to go with the Washington Huskies because they have better quarterback play, better wide receivers. Now, credit to Sharon Moore for doing what he's doing at the University of Michigan, but he is going to have a tough time trying to neutralize the Washington Huskies offense when his offense has trouble generating yards and points and keeping the offense out there on the field. So I got Washington winning this game by a field goal. I believe that this game is going to be close, and Washington, they will win this game by a field goal in the end. So the next game I want to talk about is the USC Trojans, number 11 ranked USC Trojans versus the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So with USC, we have their quarterback Miller Moss. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards. Pretty soon he's gonna throw for over 2,000 yards. In tomorrow's game, he's gonna throw for over 2,000 yards. Then you have the other USC quarterbacks, Jaden Maeva. Then you have Kyron Hudson. Then you have their running backs, their wide receivers, USC's wide receivers. You have their kicker, and then you have their defensive players, and their solo tackles. USC has 232 solo tackles on defense this season. So USC, they've had a better defense this season. Offensively, they are still up there with one of the best. They average 34 points per game. Offense, third down offense efficiency, 49%, which is one of the best in college football. Fourth down efficiency, 60%, one of the best in college football. When you look at the USC's offense, USC Trojans offense, and then you compare it to the Minnesota Golden Gophers offense. Minnesota, they have their quarterback play, Max Bromser, Drake Lindsey. Then they have their running backs for the Golden Gophers, wide receivers for the Golden Gophers, their kicker, and then they have their defense. And their defense has over 300 solo tackles. So now we look at the offensive statistics for Minnesota. Minnesota scores 4 touchdowns a game, 28.4 points per game. First downs by penalty, they've had 8. Also, third down efficiency when it comes to their offense is 43%. Fourth down offensive efficiency, is 100%. So anytime they go for it on fourth down, they convert. They convert every time. In this game, I have USC winning this game because the Minnesota Golden Gophers, when they get down in the game, they don't know how to come back and win the game. So I'm expecting USC to go into Minnesota and pretty much just beat Minnesota up and down all over the floor. They're going to run up and down the field on Minnesota, and Minnesota is not going to have an answer for that. So I got USC winning this game by 14 points, if not more, because I'm going to be generous to all you Golden Gopher fans out there. So the next game and the last game I want to talk about is the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss, they got upset last week by those Wildcats from Kentucky. So when we look at the Ole Miss Rebels, Jackson Dart, he is one of the top quarterbacks in college football. In this next game, he is going to throw for over 2,000 yards on the season. You see the Ole Miss Rebels running game with all of the people who have ran the ball throughout the season. You see their wide receivers, their kicker is 96.8% when he makes his kicks, and then you have their defensive players, and as far as their solo tackles, they've had over 300 solo tackles on defense this season. And you look at their team offensively, Ole Miss has the best offense in college football at 47.4 points per game. You look at their third down efficiency rate on offense is 47%. You look at their fourth down offensive efficiency rate is 66%. So now you look at and compare that to South Carolina. Their quarterback, Norris Sellers. Then they have 2 other quarterbacks that have came in and played throughout the season, Robbie Ashford, Davis Bevell. Then you have their running backs for the Gamecocks, their wide receivers for the Gamecocks, their kicker, who has made every kick this season, extra point or field goal. And you also have their defense, their defensive players, and they've had over 200 solo tackles this season. So now on the offensive side of the ball, when it comes to the South Carolina Gamecocks, South Carolina averages 34 points per game. Offensively, on third down, they are a staggering 29% on third down. Fourth down, offensive efficiency, they are 75%. This game is going to come down to what can the South Carolina Gamecocks do on third down? Because we all know what we're gonna get from Ole Miss. We're gonna get high flying, high powered offense. Third down efficiency for Ole Miss is better than third down efficiency for the South Carolina Gamecocks. So in this game, I believe Ole Miss is going to bounce back from this game, bounce back from that off game that they had last week. And I believe South Carolina is going to put up a good fight for 2.5 quarters or the first 3 quarters. And then Ole Miss is going to take this over. But as a matter of fact, this is in South Carolina. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ole Miss came out and just laid an egg and lost this game, just like they lost the last game versus Kentucky. Ole Miss was favored over Kentucky by 2 touchdowns. Ole Miss is favored in this game, even though they're going into a hostile environment like the South Carolina Gamecocks stadium. I believe that they should be able to win this game, but I would not be surprised if the Gamecocks upset the Ole Miss Rebels Saturday. And with that, those are my outlooks and predictions for college football week 6 of the 2024 season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Also, follow Key City Sports on TikTok. And remember one last thing, the key is always on time.